So, this is a reframing technique that I'm going to teach you. And I promise, I absolutely guarantee this will help you be successful in pretty much any endeavor. And the first thing I need to say is I actually learnt this from a guy called Zuby. And Zuby was on my podcast. I will put the link in the description. And he told me this. And it made me think about that mentality, the way that he pivots in certain situations to get the best out of them. And he is a master at reframing. So full credit to Zuby, because he articulated it in a way that really, really made sense. So what Zuby and I were talking about is he, many years ago, used to sell his music, like lots of rappers. And what he would do is he would actually get his own CDs and drive to big towns, big cities around the United Kingdom and just rock up and just sell them to people. He would just stand there walking up to people, selling his CDs and merchandise. And I was talking to him about this and the mentality behind this. And he said something that for me was absolutely phenomenal. That when it was getting to the end of the day, regardless of how many he had sold, he would keep going until he got another 50 rejections. Think about that. Think about that as real advice. Zuby didn't focus on how many he sold. He had worked out a percentage that this amount of rejections works out at this amount of sales. But really what he was doing is he was making the goal to get as rejected as many times as possible. Now, obviously, he wasn't being an arsehole about anything. He was still trying to be nice, be amenable, make people appreciate him. And it was about building relationships. But because he focused on how many rejections he could get before he could go home, how many rejections he could get before he was finished, the goal was to get rejected as many times as possible until he met his goal. And like I said, he would set a target like 50 rejections. And sometimes 50 rejections would be 5 CDs or 20 CDs sold. But it's that mindset, the way he pivots so that he's not afraid of being rejected. Rejected becomes the goal. So if you think about this in everyday situations, and I'm going to pick on men here to a degree, but you're worried about approaching women. You're worried about just walking up and asking a phone number. Well, next time you're out and about and you want to find out how you learn to talk with women, how you learn to be confident, see how many times you can get rejected. See if you can get 50 rejections in one night. Because you'll probably end up with 10 phone numbers, 10 days, of women that you thought were massively out of your league. Next time you're doing sales, make the task to count the goal to be the rejections. Because what this really, really does is it takes the pressure off you from selling. It takes the pressure off you from getting a phone number. It takes the pressure off you from getting someone's approval. Because one of the hardest things about any cold approach is you're actually seeking that person's attention. You're seeking their approval. And that's really difficult. Incredibly difficult. But you're seeking their approval. And that, in seeking their approval, you kind of come under their spell. They're in control of that situation. And you approach it in gentle baby steps. You're tentative because you don't want to upset them. Or you already walk in and you're kind of rejected already. But if you actually, the goal is to get rejected, so I don't care, you're going to turn up with a little bit of fun. You're not going to be, the outcome doesn't bother you the same way because there's no importance in making the sale. There's no importance in getting the phone number. the goal is to be rejected. The goal is to not be enough. And in doing that, you lose that energy where you care about the outcome, where that person gets to define your response to them. Because they push you away, they reject you, and you respond in a certain way, and all of that power belongs to them. But you've given them that power before you've even approached them. It's already in your mindset. There's some importance about whether or not they like you, whether or not they're going to buy from you, whether or not they approve from you. That importance is all there, and it's built up and it's pent up. So reframe it. The goal is to get rejected. How quickly can you get to 50 rejections? And I promise you, if you practice this wholeheartedly, with absolute honesty and integrity, you will find that when you focus on getting rejections, that as you get used to those rejections, there's a power shift, there's an energy shift. And you're like, yeah, okay. Your success, you will see, you will see it improve. Your success rate will improve. Secondly, and this is the biggest thing of all, is that reframing will go into everything in life, because you will no longer be affected by the power and opinions of others. That power of other people's opinions will not hold you back. You will elevate yourself outside of their control. And you will then start thinking in ways you've never thought before, because you no longer have a fear, a desire, a need for approval, and it won't hold you back. Because it anchors you into staying where you are. It anchors you into not moving. And it's the key to success. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment below if there's anything you'd like me to talk about. And please check out the podcast. Thank you very much.